McDonald's is thriving in China.
With 60 million customers daily, more than 40,000 locations in over 100 countries, and 1.9 million employees, McDonald's is one of the world's largest restaurant chains, and it is about to get even bigger. The fast food giant said it plans to open 1,900 new restaurants in 2023.
Oh my God.
Almost half of those locations will be in China.
The growth potential in China is absolutely massive. There's definitely a massive opportunity for growth and really their key priority market for store development.
McDonald's got its start in China in the early 90s.
Hey, that's when I was
Today,
born.
the chain has more than 4,500 restaurants in mainland China and Hong Kong, with considerable room for growth.
China is still in a nascent level of growth. They have 4,000 stores. They are aiming to double that number, within the next decade or two, and add, tens of dozens of stores on a monthly, if not yearly basis.
But it has faced headwinds along the way, including lockdowns due to COVID-19, food safety issues, and competition from rivals whose menus may be more suited to the Chinese palate.
In China, it's a little bit more of a difficult market. Culturally, they don't eat as many hamburgers, so having a local franchisee helps in terms of determining what's on the menu, what's the best way to operate.
Yeah, they have to have different
navigating
menus.
some of the regulatory things and cultural things that make it so different from McDonald's.
It's so
in the US.
weird that it is McDonald's that we are talking about, because it is so different. Like, they have such a different palate, they have such a different style, and to have like McDonald's working there, it is so weird. I would say like McDonald's would be the best. Like, the most stores are in America, of course, because it's an American franchise. But seeing it there, it's in China. That's
every
weird.
business is under greater scrutiny than any time before.
It's okay.
And social media allows that to happen, and also public's expectations
really
of how big companies behave
is bad, but
are heightened, and that's fair enough.
Delicious.
China is McDonald's second largest market by store count, behind the U.S.
Can't lie,
So
it's
how
really
did
good.
the Illinois-based burger joint find success in a country known for its love of pork?
They love pork a lot, that's why.
McDonald's first restaurant opened in China in Shenzhen in 1990, but it wasn't until 2 years later when the chain moved into Beijing, opening what at the time was the world's largest McDonald's in the globe's most populous nation. The restaurant had 700 seats, 29 cash registers, and served 40,000 customers on opening day.
The novelty and the newness was something that immediately gravitated a lot of consumer interest in China.
Different thing.
And people in the early days queued up and lined up to partake in what was, in essence, a slice of American culture, albeit in a hamburger.
And it was quickly expanding into other locations too. In 1994, McDonald's opened its 20th restaurant, 80 miles east of the capital, Beijing. In 2010, it announced plans to double its footprint to 2,000. Building out its supply chain and adapting to the Chinese market were key to its early success. Despite those investments, McDonald's was still playing catch-up with rivals. KFC, China's first...
I love KFC. My only issue with KFC in Germany is it's expensive. It is so expensive. And especially that I don't like... I can't eat a lot of spicy food. And whenever I choose like crispy chicken or something like that, it's that least spicy is the most expensive ones. So I don't eat KFC like maybe once, twice a year. But it's really, I love chicken.
Western fast food restaurant opened in 1987. Pizza Hut launched in 1990. KFC had over 8,100 restaurants in China, compared with Pizza Hut that operated over 2,500 restaurants, and McDonald's China with 4,642 stores.
The reason that Yum is larger, the reason that KFC is larger in China versus McDonald's is really twofold. The first is that Yum owned the distribution business in China, so just allowed them to access smaller cities first and get that first mover advantage. And the second piece is that chicken, as a part of KFC, is just naturally more appealing in China, where chicken is a larger protein than beef.
As the company continued to grow out its operation, it faced other hurdles as well. In 2014, McDonald's, along with KFC parent Yum Brand, faced concern over food quality after a reporter secretly filmed workers picking up meat off the floor of a local supplier. McDonald's China business reported a decline in sales that year.
One bad branch with a bad food supply, or just a CCTV expose showing a dirty kitchen, right? That can matter.
The chain
It can
also
matter
faced rising
big
competition
time.
from local rivals. China has about 2.6 million fast food restaurants.
And they're actually
What?
competing against these noodle stands that will sell.
It's noodles. Like, that's different. Those fast food chains are always giving you almost the same palette of food. You know, that is their noodles and what they are used to eat. This is American. This
a hot
is
bowl of
foreign.
noodles for a fraction
gonna go
of what
with
it costs
cevapi.
for a McDonald's, meal.
China. Selling the brand.
The fast
that,
food
of
industry in
course.
China is worth
Always selling
$184
the
billion.
brand. Even today is even worse than ever. It's all about branding. It's not even about the quality anymore. Like, you can have a decent quality, but if your branding is top notch, you can sell your products for triple, if not 5 times the price that it should be sold.
Yeah, I think the big problem for McDonald's is whether or not they were
People
committed
just
to
like to
using
put
their own
brands on
balance
themselves
sheet
and eat
to
brands.
building out a market the size of China. Real estate costs and site acquisition costs in China are considerably larger than they are in the United States.
Embracing its franchise model with an eye towards slashing operating costs, McDonald's sold its China business for a little over $2 billion in 2017 to Chinese state-owned enterprise CITIC and U.S. private equity firm Carlyle Group. As part of the agreement, the burger chain's partners would be responsible for providing capital for the business, including pricey real estate, and McDonald's would receive royalties based on sales as well as fees for opening a new restaurant. McDonald's retained
That's
a
the
20%
same what,
stake in the business.
Subway did.
CITIC owned 52%, and the Carlyle Group had a 28% stake.
I think it's almost the same in Germany. For example, for Subway, you can open your own Subway, but you have to give them a high percentage, and so like it's not even worth it. But you can, if you want, you can open your own Subway.
Certainly the long-term opportunity for growth in China was not something that was under review, but the fact that just the volatility of owning China and just the challenging planning that came around that was really the key reason why McDonald's chose to refranchise that market back in 2017.
Having a state-owned entity as a partner really conveys a lot of benefits to McDonald's in terms of site allocation, but they know that they can't play the real estate game in China in the same way they can play it in the United States.
McDonald's has more than 4,500 restaurants in China and Hong Kong, compared with over 13,000 in the U.S. Beyond the number of stores, one key difference between its U.S. operations versus its China business is the ability to own real estate.
They are, in essence, a real estate company, and they're one of the largest holders of commercial real estate in the United States when you collectively add it all up. You can't do this in China because, again, you can't own land 100%. You're only entitled to the land if you purchase it for 100 years, and that reverts back to the government.
McDonald's CEO.
Honestly, I didn't know that. You can literally just buy it for 100 years and that's it.
Chris Kempczinski on
So
its most
basically,
recent earnings call.
You can't buy the land. Doesn't exist for you as a heritage or something like that. People don't inherit land. Wow.
Paul even said that, you know, while some might think that they sell burgers and fries, what they really sell is the business, the brand to franchisees because they're in charge of the rents. So they're effectively a landlord. But outside of the US, when they don't have the ability to hold on to that model, it really changes things and they become more like a traditional franchisor in that respect.
Today, McDonald's China business makes up a small portion of revenue for the parent company. More than 38% of McDonald's revenue came from the US in 2021, followed by Germany, the UK, and France.
Germany.
The entire Asia-Pacific region made up just 10% of McDonald's revenue.
There's a lot
in
of McDonald's in
2021.
Germany. Less
McDonald's does
Burger
not break
Kings
out
and
revenue for
KFCs.
every country.
I mean, part of the way we structure ourselves is we always have local management run the local countries, and I think that helps just localize us as a brand, because rather than just being seen as a dominant global behemoth, you know, we just want to be the local McDonald's. We want to be the French McDonald's, or we want to be the Chinese McDonald's, or the US McDonald's.
The company structures its overseas business into two categories: an international operated market, which includes Australia, France, and Germany that it owns and operates, and an international developmental licensee market
Every time he
that
mentions
includes
Germany.
China, where it licenses out its ability to own and operate stores. McDonald's same-store sales in its international developmental licensee market increased 16% in 2022 from the year prior, compared with the US same-store sales that saw an uptick of just 5.9%.
That's weird. Look how fast it is going
McDonald's stock price has continued to climb.
I thought when it comes to fast food that overall in the whole world, I thought that it is declining because more people are more conscious about how bad processed food is and they want to eat healthier, or there is way more vegans, vegetarians out there right now and they don't eat that food. Even like they don't support such things. So I really thought that overall around the world there is less of need for fast food franchises. But China is different though.
Reaching $266 per share in February 2023. With a population of 1.4 billion and about 100 urban areas with over 1 million people, the Chinese market is a massive opportunity for McDonald's owners. While Beijing, Shanghai, and Guangdong account for about 45% of fast food industry revenue in China, much of the rest of the country remains untapped.
Most of their stores in what we call first-tier cities along the eastern seaboard of China and the large industrial cities like Shanghai and Beijing and Guangzhou. But now they see opportunity in secondary and tertiary cities, which means there's a lot of runway for growth for McDonald's ahead of them.
But despite China's zero COVID policy that resulted in some temporary closures, McDonald's has continued to expand, opening over 700 new restaurants in China in 2022, an all-time high. The company also has plans
restaurants
to open an
in 1
900
year?
stores in 2023. In other words, the burger giant is planning to open a new McDonald's in China about every 10 hours in 2023. And perhaps more importantly, it has leaned into digital, delivery, and adapted its menu.
2 new stores a day?
The other thing that's
3
most
new stores
striking
a
about
day.
McDonald's in China is the amount of technology that resides in the store. So almost universally, when you go into a McDonald's, you don't step up to a line and wait to talk to the person.
Yeah, that's what I like. You have these screens and basically you can tap your order, you pay immediately there, or you can pay at the register and then you wait for your food and that's it.
Register to place your order. You walk to a giant electronic kiosk and you enter all of your order electronically.
Making adjustments.
You pick up your own food and you put that like service. So that's good.
To cater to the taste of Chinese
that the way in
consumers
America,
in terms
or
of the menu options.
That's how it is
has
in
been
Germany.
An important development, but also the manner in which they portray themselves through either communications or advertising.
In 2007, with a fleet of over 300 motorcycles, McDonald's launched its delivery service in Shanghai. Today, in China, delivery and digital payments, as in paying with your smartphone, are the norm. Almost 90% of transactions in China are digital, compared with about 25% in the US.
90%.
McDonald's can actually learn things in the China market and then at some point, sort of have those things migrated back to the United States and serving the United States market.
So this whole video is for McDonald's in America to learn how to thrive in America as it is thriving in China. Like, learn these
Very
things.
wise move
And
strategically on the part of McDonald's to
I
get
don't know.
complete
I
digital
don't like
integration,
these stores
which also
taking
gives them a
over. It's not
treasure
healthy
trove of
food.
data.
It's
And it has
delicious.
an opportunity in
but it's
China's
not healthy.
burgeoning coffee market too, but growing. By contrast, in the US, more than half of 18 to 24-year-olds have had a
I
cup
never
of
drank
coffee
a
in the
coffee in
past
my
24
cafe
hours.
I did try
That they've had
Starbucks.
success in the
Starbucks.
cafe operation.
But I'm not a fan of these coffees because too much sugar, too much calories in this one cup of coffee that I don't like drinking my calories. I like eating my calories. So when I see that, I just can't. It is delicious. I might do it once, twice a year, but that's it.
Operations in the United States.
McDonald's was the first American fast food ever opened in my city about 20 years ago. I remember celebrating my birthday over there when I was a kid, and that was considered a privilege back then. When I was living in Jordan, my parents would take me for Happy Meals in McDonald's. I remember that. I was like, and especially like you have these build games or something. I don't know how it's called. And I always loved that as a kid. So I think that factor adds up to it because a lot of families like to bring their kids to a Happy Meal and the kids are always urging the parents. And as you know, today, kids really know how to influence their parents. They really know how to get stuff from their parents. So A lot of those trips are because of the kiddos.